Hello Commanders, welcome to the command table. I am Mathramar and we're going to be going through battles 411 through 415 in the Battle Legion's journey. This is the first map of Druidic Forest, and before we get into it though, if you would please be so kind as to like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Battle 411. Okay, for this one we have a couple groups of Faceless Knights, we've got a couple groups of Thorn Guards, we've got 3 groups of Archers, 4 groups of Shield Bearers, 3 Thorn Guards, and a Brute with a Battle Drummer kind of tucked in right there. So there's an awful lot of melee in this group. So I originally tried to do this with the Monster Hunter, but my Monster Hunter just didn't have the HP to handle it. He kind of shreds himself on the Thorn Guards when they come through. But what I've done here is I've put this Untamed Beast right up front. The closest thing to him are these enemy units on the front line. So he's going to aggro onto those first. Then I've got a Druid and 2 Valkyries to sustain that Untamed Beast while everything goes down. So that's going to keep the Untamed Beast cranking for the vast majority of the time. I've got a couple groups of Mind Trims here to kind of catch some of these frontline units, and that's going to buy me some time and allow them to kind of kill some of themselves off. But it's going to buy me time to kind of grind through some of this so that not all of it arrives at once. Then I've got this Ember Fiend in the back, which is going to do percentage-based damage, which works fantastic for all of these high health units on the front line. So let's go ahead and let that one run. And again, only level 6 on that Untamed Beast. It does have Berserk on it. So if you're in a season without Berserk, not that it matters much because he's mostly at full health most of the time, but you might actually do better with Damage Power Stone instead, just because the Untamed Beast really isn't getting any benefit out of the Berserk for this first portion of the battle. So you see those Mind Trims bought me a lot of time. That kept the Faceless Knights way back. Oh, and that's another reason why the Monster Hunter didn't work, because the Faceless Knights would stun him and the Monster Hunter would just go down so quickly. Now right here I do lose the Untamed Beast, but I've cleared through enough of it to where the Ember Fiend's able to get the rest of those archers. So we got the job done on that one. We'll take it. Okay, this is where we get our Eternal Champions into the mix. Finally, I got a drop in a wagon or something for some Eternal Champions, so I've got them to a whopping level 4. Now, brace for impact, because this is pretty dicey. We have a whole bunch of Risen Warriors that are all going to pop up back over here. We got a whole bunch of Plague Bearers, Dire Wolves, we got the 2 Devourers. There's just all kinds of ugly going on here. And the main strategy that I'm working with here is using the boundary of the map as my defense. So if I put my group right up in the middle, they'd get completely surrounded and attacked from all sides. But here they can only be attacked from one side. And it saves a lot of damage and enables my stuff to crank through. I think there's a Phoenix in here as well, and the Phoenix is fantastic for doing AoE burn damage to this gigantic horde of undead that's about to descend on me. So again, level 4 Eternal Champions. Let's see how they do here. Level 5 Phoenix, level 7 I think on the Paladin, and I think the Battle Drummer is level 8 or 9. But the Phoenix here is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but the other units are doing a fantastic job of minimizing the amount of units that can get to that Phoenix so that it can keep cranking. But again, most of the work is actually being done by that wall. It's just keeping half of the army from being able to get to that other flank. And we've hit Frenzy, and poof, there it all goes. So some level 4 ECs. Now I do believe they have Berserk on them. Okay, so if you're in a season without Berserk, do the best you can with what you got. Okay, 413 Void Invaders. Okay, we have a lot of Fire Knights. We got some Cannoneers. We got some not Molten Armors, Earth Elementals. And that looks like about it. So everything was in range of these Draining Spirits on that front line, so I just figured we'll just tag some Draining Spirits on, and yes, those are Chaos units, but they will take damage over time. So we're going to do our typical delay build. We've got some Entangling Roots to slow everything down. We've got some Plague Bears to kind of hold them there until the Risen Warriors can pop up in the back and distract them to pull them back. And then by then we've got close to Frenzy, so it's just going to take a long time for everything to work its way through 2 groups of Entangling Roots to get to 3 Crystal Spires and an Arcane Archer in the back. Now I do think I lose this Crystal Spire at some point, but all in all, the strategy worked fairly well. So yeah, most of these units don't do a whole heck of a lot to in the early stages of the battle. Other than the Entangling Roots, they do a lot of the heavy lifting, just keeping everything away. But once Frenzy hits, that's when most of these units really start to shine. Okay, so I did lose 1 Crystal Spire, but I've still got 2 Crystal Spires and the Arcane Archer. Now, I don't know if it'll always work out this way to where the Cannoneers get stuck in the Draining Spirits, but this was very fortuitous. So I was very grateful that that happened. That killed them before they could blow up my little base in the back there. So yeah, hopefully that'll work for you as well. Alright, let's move on to 414. Okay, so for this one, tried a couple of different strats on this, but finally got this one to work out. I've got, okay, let's see, we've got some Blessed Bombbots in the back, we've got a couple of Frost Wizards, we've got several groups of Hammer Throwers, 2 Brutes, 3 Brutes, looks like 3, a couple groups of Faceless Knights, and about 4 groups of Righteous Defenders. So I was having trouble with this. I decided I'd take care of the Blessed Bombbots just so I didn't have to deal with anything twice. But it was a very difficult group. But then I thought, okay, you know what? We're going to use the right tank for the job because he's immune to both freeze and stun. So that accounts for the Frost Wizards and the Faceless Knights. So the Brute is an excellent choice for that. I was having more trouble mostly because I was using an Arcane Archer instead of these regular archers. And the Arcane Archer wasn't able to kill the stuff that the Brute knocked back into the healers fast enough. So by using the regular archers, I was able to keep stuff off of my healers, which kept my Brute up for longer. So we're using the Assassins to take care of the Blessed Bombbots. We've got 3 groups of Draining Spirits that are able to tag on right from the beginning. And I put this up here just to slow down this group. And what happens here is the Hammer Throwers end up running into the Draining Spirit, whereas they wouldn't normally if you didn't have the Entangling Roots there. So that helps a lot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let it run. A lot happens here, so feel free to rewind, but there's just a lot going down. Again, a lot of it comes down to just using the right tank. Again, freeze and stun resist on the Brute. I think you can also get that on the Earth Elemental, but the Brute just does more damage, has higher health, and just seemed like the better choice overall. So we're going to hit Frenzy here in a second. Oh, and the Entangling Roots also do great at slowing down this Jormag clone. Okay, so the regular archers do... Oh, and that's another reason why I had to switch to the regular archers, because the Arcane Archer took a day and a half to make a dent on Jormag, and by then it turned out to be a draw. So regular archers just seem to be the better choice overall. Alright, 415. Okay, so for this one, we have a lot of archers all throughout the back here. A couple of Crystal Spires sewn in. We got 3 of them. Then we've got some Arcane Blades, a couple of Frost Wizards, and some Shield Bearers up front. So my thought process for this one was that I would just front load get some Plague and the Draining Spirits, just do a special delivery, get that tagged on to this whole army, And then that whole army is going to have to run through those draining spirits all the way to the back here to get to this monster hunter, which is going to be supported by a Valkyrie. And then I've got what looks like an arcane archer down in the bottom left. So no need for Risen Warriors or anything. I've got that arcane archer to clear up anything that doesn't get cleared up anyway. So let's go ahead and let it run. The Monster Hunter was the ideal choice for this one because with that many archers, they will nuke an untamed beast very easily. Okay, so now watch this draining spirit right here. It's about to run all the way down through all of that mess. It takes out multiple groups of archers, a couple frost wizards. It just does a fantastic job. Now, at this point, I've pretty much got the battle so long as my arcane archer takes the other one out first. So if you're able to get to that point, your arcane archer should carry the day for you. All right, so there it is. It takes us to 4:15. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe. Also, check out thecommandtable.com where we have tutorials, raid strats, and in the not too distant future, we'll add some fun merch and a comic strip for you. So thanks for watching. We'll have more for you soon.